Imagine driving through any farming region and seeing endless fields of a single crop, corn, wheat, soy, or rice, stretching as far as the eye can see. This is monoculture farming, a practice that has helped feed billions by maximizing yields. But beneath the surface, monoculture farming hides a dark side. Its environmental costs are immense, affecting soil health, biodiversity, and even the resilience of ecosystems. Today, we're going to dive into the hidden toll of monoculture farming and explore why alternative systems like regenerative grazing may offer a sustainable solution. Monoculture farming involves growing a single crop over vast areas, year after year. It simplifies production and allows farmers to use machinery and fertilizers to maximize efficiency. But while it's been essential for feeding the world, monoculture disrupts the balance of ecosystems and depletes the land of vital resources. Some of the most common monoculture crops are corn, used for food and biofuel, soy, a key ingredient in livestock feed and plant-based products, wheat, a dietary staple, and rice, which is crucial to billions, especially in Asia. While this approach has been beneficial in the short term, monoculture farming has caused long-term environmental damage that threatens the sustainability of these very crops. One of the most severe impacts of monoculture farming is soil depletion. Growing the same crop in the same field year after year strips the soil of specific nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, leading to a loss of fertility. Farmers attempt to counteract this by applying synthetic fertilizers. But this temporary fix comes with new problems. Overuse of fertilizers results in chemical runoff, where excess chemicals flow into rivers and lakes, causing algal blooms and creating dead zones in bodies of water, areas so depleted of oxygen that aquatic life cannot survive. Fertilizers also lead to soil acidification, disrupting the natural pH balance and making it harder for plants to absorb nutrients. Healthy soil is teeming with life. Microbes, fungi, and insects work together to break down organic matter and cycle nutrients back into the ecosystem. But monoculture farming depletes this biodiversity, reducing the soil's ability to regenerate naturally and leading to erosion. Without the nutrients and biodiversity necessary for replenishment, the land becomes less productive and more vulnerable to further degradation. Monoculture farming doesn't just harm the soil, it also causes significant biodiversity loss. By dedicating vast expanses of land to a single crop, monoculture farms create a homogenized landscape where few species can thrive. This loss of plant diversity has several negative consequences. Monoculture crops are more vulnerable to pests and diseases, as the lack of variety disrupts the balance of the ecosystem. To combat these pest problems, farmers must use large amounts of pesticides, which can harm non-target species, including crucial pollinators like bees. Additionally, monoculture farming destroys wildlife habitats by replacing forests, grasslands, and wetlands with uniform fields. As these natural ecosystems disappear, so do the animals, birds, and insects that depend on them. The result is a decline in ecosystem resilience, which can lead to a collapse of local biodiversity. Monoculture farming often requires the clearing of large areas of natural ecosystems to make room for crops. This practice is a significant driver of deforestation and habitat destruction, particularly in areas like the Amazon rainforest, where land is cleared for soy and cattle farming. The environmental costs of this destruction are enormous. Forests and grasslands act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and helping to mitigate climate change. When these ecosystems are destroyed, the stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. The destruction of natural ecosystems also disrupts the water cycle. Forests help regulate local rainfall patterns and prevent water runoff. But when they are cleared, the balance is disrupted, leading to flooding in some areas and droughts in others. By clearing ecosystems for monoculture farms, we not only lose biodiversity, but also undermine the planet's ability to regulate climate and maintain stable weather patterns. However, grazing systems offer a regenerative alternative to monoculture farming. When managed correctly, grazing animals like cows, sheep, and goats can help restore degraded land and promote ecosystem health. This practice, known as regenerative grazing, mimics the natural movement of wild herbivores, which helps maintain ecosystem balance. Regenerative grazing improves soil health by allowing animals to naturally fertilize the soil with their manure, which adds organic matter and nutrients. The movement of grazing animals also helps to aerate the soil, improving its ability to retain water and support plant growth. Unlike monoculture farming, regenerative grazing promotes plant diversity. A wider variety of plants supports a more balanced ecosystem, attracting various species that benefit from the varied habitat. Healthy soils, rich in organic matter, also act as carbon sinks, pulling carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it in the ground. Regenerative grazing helps build this organic matter, increasing the soil's ability to sequester carbon and fight climate change. While monoculture farming focuses on extracting maximum yield from the land, regenerative grazing works with nature to create a self-sustaining cycle that improves the health of the land over time. By mimicking natural processes, regenerative grazing can help reverse some of the environmental damage caused by monoculture farming. Monoculture farming has allowed us to feed a growing global population, but it comes with hidden environmental costs that threaten the systems we depend on for food production. Soil, depletion, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem destruction are all consequences of a farming system that prioritizes short-term efficiency over long-term sustainability. As the world's population continues to grow, it's critical to rethink how we produce food. Regenerative grazing systems offer a more sustainable alternative by restoring land, sequestering carbon, and supporting biodiversity. Transitioning away from monoculture and toward regenerative farming practices is essential to creating a food system that feeds the world while protecting the planet. In conclusion, monoculture farming may have been necessary to produce food on a massive scale, but its environmental toll is unsustainable. Soil depletion, loss of biodiversity, and destruction of ecosystems are just a few of the hidden costs that come with this method. Fortunately, there is hope in alternative farming systems like regenerative grazing, which can restore degraded land and foster a healthier relationship between agriculture and the environment. As we look toward the future, it's clear that we need to move away from monoculture farming and embrace regenerative practices that work in harmony with nature. By doing so, we can ensure a resilient and sustainable food system for future generations. If you want to be part of the solution, consider supporting local farmers who are committed to regenerative practices and spreading awareness about the environmental benefits of alternative agriculture.